Nick Gallo, OKC Thunder. Josh, the game really turned the way that you all went into halftime and came out of it. I think it was a 13-0 run and then a 12-0 coming back out. What maybe happened there that you guys were able to either unlock or helped you really put your foot down there?
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of had a tendency to we get a lead and we take our foot off a little bit. And I thought tonight at the halftime break we kind of addressed that. We want to come out, start this third quarter right, and we forced them into 2 quick timeouts, and that's how we want to start, third quarters and moving forward. So I think good job tonight of the guys playing through 48 minutes. We got the lead and I think we put our foot down even more, extended it, and eventually kind of blew the game open. So they're the type of efforts we need. We go on a tough road trip now. We play, Golden State twice. So 48-minute efforts is what's going to win you games. And I thought tonight was good, step in the right direction.
And then I just want to ask you about the way that you attacked. Seemed like those angles were maybe, even better tonight than they have been. The way that you were able to get to the rim, but then also spray out and make plays for your teammates. What did you feel out there?
Yeah, I mean, exactly that. I was just, same thing, just trying to get downhill, make plays, and if they collapsed, and obviously they got, a big guy down there that's going to protect the rim. So, reading him, if he's in the paint, finding shooters, finding cutters. If he's not, they didn't really have a, elite shot blocker down there. So just, continuing to put pressure on the rim. I thought all our guys did that tonight. We made them guard multiple actions, and when we play unselfish like that, get out in transition. I thought our defense sparked a lot of our offense tonight, and I think that's when, we're at our best as a team.
You talked about the defense. You guys had 31. They had 31 turnovers. Just what went into that for you guys? What was kind of the mentality for you guys on that end of the floor?
Yeah, I mean, we were aggressive. I think obviously, a lot of it game plan centered around Devin and Victor, and I thought we did an awesome job on those guys. And it's pretty similar most nights. Most teams have 2 or 3 guys. Your primary focus is on defense, and I thought, Jalen, Lou did an awesome job. K. Rich, when he came in, Chet was great defensively. So we got stops. We made them play in crowds all night. They had to take tough shots. And I thought the one thing we did good tonight, I don't know what the stats were like, but I thought we felt like we rebounded well, limited them to 1 shot, for a lot of the game. And that's obviously been an issue for us, in the first, 10 or so games. But hopefully tonight is a step in the right direction on that end. And it's going to clean up a lot of issues that we have. And we've got to continue to kind of hone in on that and, really emphasize, limiting teams to 1 shot, and so we can get rebounds and get out and run.
Hey, Josh, as you think about this young team sort of learning and getting new opportunities, a night like tonight, in the season, national TV, just all of the hubbub around this game, what can you guys learn from a night like tonight and just the way that you played moving forward?
I think when we can put a full game together, we're a tough team to beat. And, we haven't done that a whole lot, I don't think, this season. And we've still managed to, beat some good teams and stay in a lot of close games. So I think tonight was a really good, positive step in terms of playing 48 minutes. Once we got the lead, we didn't let up. We kind of kept the foot down, through the finish line. So against, the better teams in the league, you need that. And, any slip up, a team can quickly swing momentum back in their favor, and that could break the game back open in their favor. So it's a really good learning experience tonight, especially when we get a big lead, finding ways to maintain that and, running through 48 minutes.
Josh, a lot of this game was just talked about the matchup between Victor and Chet, which those guys have kind of downplayed. But just as a facilitator and as a teammate, I know you're probably rooting on Chet. Is there any urges you have to fight off to feed him more to get his shots more or anything like that?
Not really. I mean, and that's, more of a testament to him. Obviously, a lot of the hype is around those 2 guys coming into tonight, but, he didn't view it any differently from another regular season game, and he approached the game the same, and, he didn't try to go out there and out-duel him, one-on-one, and he let the game come to him, and, he's a super talented guy in that sense where he never forces things. I think he makes the right play, 90% of the time, and that's a credit to him. It's easy to get caught up in hype and things like that, but he stayed within the team, and, he's obviously a big piece of what we're doing, but was great for us tonight again.
And then as a teenager coming to the NBA, there were some unique challenges. Kayson's also coming in sort of in the same spot, really young in the league. Just your overall evaluation of him as a player early on.
Oh, he's been awesome. I mean, he does, what's asked of him. He plays his role to perfection. I think defensively is where he's going to make his mark in this league. And, the ability for a rookie 10 games in to be able to, guard some of the best guys in this league is a really special quality to have. And he's got that. He wants those challenges. And it's awesome. You've got guys like Lou and Jalen that do it in the first unit. And then you bring in a guy like Case that could do it with the second group. It's a really big luxury to have. So he's been great. I think offensively, really solid guy. Makes the right play. Can really shoot the ball. So he's been awesome so far, and I'm excited for what he's going to do going forward.
Josh, we talked about the angles you took tonight and some of the reads you made, but I'm curious because Mark said, I think his words were that you leaned into your identity tonight. So I'm curious from what you've seen so far this season, what does it take to sustain that level of comfortability? Yeah,
I think a lot of it just falls back to me playing, kind of how I play and what my strengths are. And I think early on, I was, kind of hell-bent on scoring the ball for some reason. I don't know what that was. And, I spoke with Coach and around that, and we just kind of found ways to address that. And me as a player, I think I'm at my best when I'm, making plays and making people better around me. And naturally, as a byproduct of that, lanes are going to open up to take floaters, take layups, and take shots. So just not forcing things, making the right play, and trusting that in the flow of the game, things are going to open up. And that's kind of what I've leaned into and, what we've spoke about, in the past couple of days. And, hopefully going forward, that's something I can continue to do and help our team, win games.
Josh, you've been praised for your toughness, and you got another tough guy back in Kenrich Williams tonight. Well, what does he bring to the table whenever he returns, and kind of the intangibles he brings to you guys?
Exactly that, toughness. That's kind of what Kay's made his mark on, and he's a huge part of what we do. It doesn't always him show up on the stat sheet, but the things he does for this group, never go unnoticed internally. We all appreciate and love what he does for this team, and you see the energy he provides. He does it on both sides of the ball. He wants to take defensive challenges. Guarding guys like Victor tonight. So he's awesome to have back. He's a big part of what we're doing, and his energy's really contagious, not just for us but for the crowd. When he checked in, everyone was applauding him. So speaks to the kind of guy that he is and the importance he has on this group.
Anybody else? We'll go last one to Joel.
Josh, I've kind of asked some of your teammates about this, and for you as a guy that can make these passes, I'm curious, it feels like you guys have thrown more lobs at this point in the season than last year. What's all gone into that?
I mean, Chet is a big part of it. We've got a legit, lob catcher and a guy that plays above the rim, and I think it's just continuing to build that chemistry. Guys are seeing things on pick and rolls. If a low man's not in there, you could throw the ball pretty much anywhere and he'll go get it. So not just him. I think Jalen's caught a few. Other guys have been able to play above the rim, but it's just guys making the right play. And as we continue to play more games with this unit and with this team, opportunities like that are going to open themselves up. So a lot of it's just chemistry, and once we're all on the same page and clicking, those plays are going to happen.
Shai, you guys went into the locker room at halftime, 13-0 run, came out of it with a big run too. What was key from an approach standpoint to the way that you guys closed and then opened the half?
Yeah, we just wanted to play our identity through the full 48 minutes. If that team gets comfortable, they can string together some moments and maybe steal a game. And we didn't want that to kind of come into play, so we just try to play to our identity the whole game and kind of not let our foot off the gas.
And then, Chet, you guys forced 25 turnovers. This guy had 7 steals. What did you make of the defensive effort and just the disruptiveness on that end?
Yeah, no, I think it was a great team effort. Really keying in on the game plan and overall just going out and executing. From the first to the last guy that stepped on the floor, I feel like we had a great team effort there.
Chet, it feels like some of what Shai's maybe done on that end this year will probably get swept under the rug between you and Casey and Lou, but I'm just curious what you thought of his progression as a defender since you've been here.
I wouldn't call it progression. He's been a great defender since I got here.
For sure.
I feel like it definitely gets overshadowed sometimes by the stuff he does on the offensive end, but if you play with Shai, you appreciate the way he really locks in on defense, and he's a huge plus for us on that end, so it's great to have him.
Shai, you guys had 31 fast break points tonight, and I know playing fast is part of your all's identity every single night, but how key was that for you guys and being able to take over the game the way you were?
Yeah, it's something that we like to hang our hat on every night. We know we're our best when we get out in transition and play in open court. There's so many guys that are good at touching the paint and doing so in the full court and spraying out. only makes the game easier for all of us, and then we're our best. But yeah, we definitely got to it tonight, and I think that's why the game looked the way it did.
Shai, the career high 7 steals for you tonight. Mark talks about how when you're out, they miss your defense more than anything, and you talk about how you want to be more of a two-way player. When did that mindset kind of change for you, or has it always been? You've always had that mindset, and we just notice it a little bit more.
Yeah, my first couple years in the NBA, guys used to like target me defensively, and just as a competitor, I didn't like that. Didn't sit well with me, and a little bit of it is because of my frame. I was smaller, and I just didn't like that feeling. So I kind of took that personal and tried to change the narrative a little bit.
Chet, you've talked a lot about this just being another game. It's the Thunder versus the Spurs, but for the fans, there seemed to be like some extra energy when you guys got matched up. Is that something you could feel or hear on the floor?
We can always hear our fans cheering. I feel like they did a great job tonight of kind of cheering no matter what was going on. They were loud all night. Shout out to our fans in Paycom. They really brought it tonight, and they definitely helped with the win.
And then Shai, a lot of the noise coming in this game, like I just mentioned, was Victor and Chet. You have 7 steals, no pun intended, steal the show here. Was that something that you were like coming into this game, like trying to make a statement on a big stage, or just playing your game?
Yeah, not at all. I woke up and wanted to win the basketball game today.
Over there. Go ahead.
Yeah. Just you guys' thoughts, though, on the team defensive effort against Wembanyama. He was 4 for 15, and several times he couldn't even get the ball. You guys were swarming him, tipping the ball away. Just you guys' thoughts on the team defensive effort against him.
We just wanted to make him play in the crowd. We try to do so with most teams' best players, so it was no different from that. But we just try to make him play in the crowd and play outside of his comfort zone.
Anybody? Go ahead, Jenny. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Shai, these guys obviously have a young core building, same way you guys have a young core building. Do you like the idea that this might be a team that you guys see, time and again as you kind of are trying to get back in a contender status here? Was this sort of a fun night to maybe start something that we'll see for a few years?
Good question. I have never thought about that. I think myself, and I can speak for the rest of the guys, we're just so focused on us making strides every day and being a better team than we were yesterday that like all that stuff is like, I haven't thought about that. So maybe in a couple of weeks I'll have an answer for you, but we haven't thought about that.
Chet, you've been praised for your mindset, and you've also praised Josh for how tough he is. But tonight you got Kenrich Williams back, and of course he adds an element of toughness. Kind of what goes into having a guy like that set the tone for you guys?
Man, we missed Unk out there. He came in, he was ready. He kept saying like, "Can't wait to be back, can't wait to be back." And then today he's like, "I'm back." So it's great to have him back. Somebody out there who's bringing the energy and really setting the tone, like you said. It's hard not to follow suit when you got a guy like that out there. So, we're happy to have Rich back.
With him being back, you were able to play a lineup with him, Kaysen, yourself, and Jada out there defensively. Does that just get you excited, defensively minded, playing with those guys?
100%. I'm excited to play with anybody we got on the team and any type of lineup. So, it was a lot of fun out there to play with that lineup as well as all the other ones.
Chet, I think your first matchup against Wemby was the 2021 Under-19 FIBA World Cup. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Anything you remember about that tournament and that game specifically?
Yeah, just a great matchup between the USA and France, and a lot of great players in that game that were competing, and it came down to the wire, and we were able to edge out a win in that one.
Second quarter really kind of ended up opening up the floodgates. What was it about that stretch that maybe you guys unlocked or got to?
I just thought we really amped up the pressure defensively, kind of went to another level there. Really feisty, generated some turnovers, shared it on the break, and then obviously we're able to carry that out of halftime as well.
Yeah, and then just the keys to actually doing that. You go and sit down for 15 minutes or so, and what did you notice about the team's mental state to be able to really keep their foot down the whole rest of the night?
Yeah, we didn't start the second half great, but then really strung together stops and really shared the ball, especially out on the break. We were able to either turn them over or stop them and secure the rebound, and then we were pitching it up ahead and really sharing the ball. and we looked fast when we did that. And I thought the ball movement and the defense, in concert, really opened the game up for us.
You talk about playing fast, and playing fast is part of your identity as a team. 31 fast break points tonight. How much of that was just leaning into the identity of this team, and how much of it was kind of the game plan for tonight?
I mean, some of it was just the turnovers we were able to generate, and then, we generated a ton. And then, we were able to rebound the ball pretty well tonight. I thought in second half especially, really secured a lot of loose rebounds, and that got us out on the break as well.
Mark,
Coach, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Mark, I think we talked the other night about SGA and where he maybe falls on his team because of, point of attack defenders like Lou and Kaysen and a rim protector like Chet. But it's kind of hard to miss him tonight. I guess what you see from him on that end?
Defensively. Yeah, I thought, he's a really, really intelligent and savvy help defender. He's got great length. He uses his wingspan to impact passing lanes, and he's really learned the pictures, and so he really anticipates in the help. And then, we have the luxury of being able to play him on a main guy if we choose to as well. So he's a pretty complete defender, and if you look at his trajectory just on that end of the floor, he's really developed over time and done a great job on that end for us.
Hey, Coach, the big men battle didn't materialize, but overall, how did you feel Chet played? He didn't have a good field goal percentage, but overall?
I thought he was good. I thought our whole team was good. I thought we had an edge on the glass. We had an edge at the rim. He had some really good rim contests, especially late in the first half and in the third quarter tonight. I thought the whole team, was really competitive tonight, and I thought we had a contagious toughness about us starting right about 3 or 4 minute mark in the second quarter.
19 steals for you guys tonight. I believe it's a franchise record. What do you like about the defensive effort that you guys gave tonight?
I thought it was effort-based tonight. Like sometimes you just feel like, you're in the right place at the right time. But I thought there was a conscious, collective, mentality that we had. We kind of, like I said, tried to amp it to another level. And I thought that pressure was really able to generate a lot of those turnovers and deflections, and even on plays we didn't turn them over. I thought we were able to keep them out of rhythm on a lot of things.
And then seemed like you guys' most complete game this season. Is that the way you feel, or is it still not a little satisfied?
No, I mean, certainly satisfied. I thought we stacked a lot of good possessions tonight, so I'd never take that for granted. I mean, it's just not a linear progression in the season. There's games where you really stack them and you look pretty good on both ends, and then there's games where you regress. It's every game's important, every game's competitive, when the scoreboard goes on, but every game's also one of 82. So, I really was impressed with how we competed tonight, but when we wake up tomorrow, we're back to 0-0, and we got to get ready for our next opponent.
And then a career high 7 steals for Shai. You talked about how when he's out, you guys miss him on the defensive end more than anything. Is it when was the mindset change for him? Was it the beginning of last year, or was it was more noticeable last year for everybody else?
I don't think there's ever one point of demarcation with anything developmentally. I just think it stacks over time when you work on it. It's a combination of these guys gaining experience. Their bodies change when they're young players. They get a lot of reps. Their appreciation for or commitment to it may change over time, but I don't think it happens on one day. And his defensive trajectory since he's been here is a good example of that.
Vasa gave you guys some good minutes tonight. Was that something that was pre-planned to try to get him involved in this game specifically? And what exactly did you see from him that you liked on the floor tonight?
Yeah, I mean, he's done a great job. As I thought that last group that was in there, the sharpness that they played with and moved with is a testament to the readiness that they have and how hard they've worked to keep themselves ready. You can't fake that level of sharpness. Trey Mann stuck out in that way tonight. And I think Voss is a good example of that too. He hasn't played, in a few games now, but he looks like he's played every night. There was a pop to him on both ends of the floor that was really impressive, and I thought he gave us really good minutes tonight.
Josh had a really good statistical game. Was there anything that you saw from him, kind of mindset-wise, that you would attribute that to?
I was really appreciative of the style he played with tonight. I thought, he was really tapped into his identity as a player. He was the first one to move it. He really ignited a lot of possessions with kind of the first pass of just getting it reversed or getting it advanced, and that puts us in a mode of ball movement and kind of starts the blender. And then as we saw tonight, I think he was 7 for 11. Is that right? Yeah, I mean, it doesn't stop him from having a really good offensive night either. You know, he's benefiting from the very style that he's contributing to. So I thought, you know, that was good.
Mark, I don't know that we've talked about this, but I asked Chet earlier, and Dub kind of acknowledged it last week, but this team is obviously throwing more lobs by this point now than it was last year. What's going into leaning into that? And I think Kenrich's first game caught a lob today. What's going into leaning into that and just been behind the charge?
You know, I just think it's a good example, like in practice. I mentioned this at another point, but in practice, in training camp, we weren't connecting on a lot of those plays. And, you know, when we see a hurdle like that developmentally, we try to lean into it and get better at it instead of steering away from it. And the guys have done a great job with that. You know, they've, especially in the pick and rolls, you know, the ones on the break, you know, have been good too. We're better in that area than we were last year. But I just think it's a good developmental lesson, you know, that, you know, if there's not a finished product, you just keep at it and you'll improve over time. There's a lot of time, a lot of games.
Hey, Mark, with the young core that you guys have and the young core that they're starting to build, do you take a second ever in a game like this and think maybe this is the first of a rivalry that gets built as these two programs sort of build back to, you know, being contenders and you know, major players in the Western Conference?
No. You know, I just think we have great respect for them. You know, they're people, they're players, their program. It's one game. You know, it's one of 82, and you know, it was our night. It wasn't their night, but we're 0-0 next time we play them.